Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm the founder of Well Grounded Coffee, and we're here at the coffee house today with Mr. Seneca. And I'm trying to think when we very first connected, and I do think it was Arts of Oppression.
Arts of Oppression, Richard Miles.
Because you did some sort of performance, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and you guys were serving coffee, and I remember
I got 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I want to say maybe 5.
Yeah. Almost 5. We opened, we're coming up on our 5-year.
Okay, so yeah,
4 and a half. Or
something like that, probably.
Okay.
I'm terrible with dates. So,
yeah, me too, and time flies, you know.
Man, it does.
Everything happens. So that's our connection, and then we've connected just over the years, on and off. Then recently you did an event at our other coffee house.
I did.
How did that go?
Well, half of the people ended up coming here because they thought it was this address, and it was like, I think I'm at the wrong place, so they ended up going to the right place. But it was cool. Yeah. Good vibes, great staff. I mean, the place accommodated well. I mean, we didn't have a lot. We had maybe like 10 people.
That's great.
Show up, right? I mean, it's a Saturday coffee shop. Yeah, it was cool. So I did like some mindset stuff, and it was good. The energy and space did well to accommodate the event. So
good.
Yeah.
So going back, so our podcast is turning trauma into triumph. Talk to us about your early years. You were in prison or jail?
I was in prison.
Prison.
Yeah.
A little bit about that. What you want to share? Your story, because now here you are, inspiring and motivating, I think is your goal. Yes.
Yeah, my story's a little bit different, I guess. You know, I had a 2-parent home. Today's my dad's birthday. Shout out to my pops.
Happy
74.
Birthday. Nice.
Talk to him, 4 or 5 days a week. We have a really good relationship. Coming up, not as much because I'm a young kid, kind of hard headed, wanted to do what I wanted to do. But originally from a neighborhood called Pleasant Grove in Dallas.
Yeah.
And then we moved out to like Cedar Hill, in school and stuff. My parents wanted to kind of get us in a better area. But 2-parent home, man. And just as we were coming up, I played ball, I played football. I was actually a smart kid, made good grades, did that whole thing. And at about 14, 15, things started to shift.
Okay.
And just found myself kind of hanging around with the wrong people. I got kicked off the football team, and then that was huge because that was like my life. That was my identity.
That was keeping you centered.
That was keeping me centered. And what I teach now to young people is like a lot of kids aren't necessarily bad. I mean, some kids are bad, but that's fine. I talk to them very, practical. Like, hey, man, sometimes you need to be sat down for a little bit, but a lot of times, it's just energy, man. It just needs to be redirected in the right place. And myself, I was very creative and very ambitious. And I just got around certain mentorship that steered that energy into a certain direction. Okay. We were not poor by any means, but I definitely seen some financial struggles and stuff coming up. My dad having to get groceries from the church to put food on the table at times and things of that nature. And he was working, and I was like, I see you working these long hours, but you're still borrowing money from the church to put food on the table. Like, I don't want to live that life, right?
That was upsetting to you.
Yeah, and then I had another father figure. So there's a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep.
And I tell people when I speak now, I had like a criminal dad and a legal dad, right?
Okay.
And my other father figure type of person that I still love and respect today, we have a good relationship, but was caught up in the life. And I followed that mentorship. And I went out of town at like 16, 17. I'd already been like kicked out of school, made $1,500. And let me tell you, I gave $750 to my mom. I kept $750. And I said, I'm never going to be broke.
Yeah.
And that was just my mindset.
Yeah.
So that's how, it kind of, started for me.
So money was it really was drawing you.
It was
whatever it took.
It was in whatever it took. I just had that mentality, which, again, that's why I really love working with young people, especially young men, because I know that a lot of young men like have that drive to be something and want to do something. If we can just pair that with a skill set into like something legal that is meaningful, I mean, you can soar with that.
Have you ever read Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, South
Uh,
Africa.
I've heard of Trevor Noah, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't heard of the book.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So it's his book, kind of his autobiography, and it reminds me a little bit of your story because he was very driven, very smart,
Mm-hmm.
and just entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
but just took him in bad directions for a long, long time.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. That's why mentorship is so important. And then too, I have this saying, um, and it's a bigger quote, but I'll sum it up and just say, not a blade of grass. And what I mean by that is I've come to learn in my life now that I personally don't believe that there's a blade of grass growing not exactly where it's supposed to be. I think that everything is designed just as it's supposed to be. Even things that kind of like suck, like this doesn't seem like a good thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
In the trajectory of the cosmos and eternity, it's all perfect. It's all divine. So even though we have these setbacks and we go through these trials, I think that it's purposeful
Okay.
in some capacity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what were you doing that caused you to land in prison?
So I was indicted. I've been to prison twice. So I went to federal prison at age 19, organized crime,
Mm-hmm.
essentially theft, right?
Yeah.
That was the thing that was taught to me. And then I also want to say this, if my mentor would have taught me the stock market, trucking, real estate, being the type of person that I am, there's no doubt that I have like 50 duplexes by now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my trade was organized crime, identity theft, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. 19, went to federal prison. I did about 3 years, high school dropout, never really acquired any major skills, right?
So 3 years in prison, did you do any education there?
I mean, no, I was really the best way I was a boy amongst men. It was just, it was the feds, right? So I'm 19 in the feds, and I was just trying to make it through.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
survive.
I was just trying to make it through.
Mhm.
I learned a lot. I met a lot of interesting, cool people, and it was a dope experience. But as far as education wise, I got my GED.
Mhm.
I think that's really about it from an
Okay.
education
So you
standpoint.
get out of there and
I get out of there, I start working, living back with my parents. I don't have anything, and I was financially successful in that. Like I was making $100,000 a year at 17, 18, 19 years old. So there was a big identity that I got from that of being able to help and provide and be
Yeah.
a man, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted to do. So when I came home, all that was gone.
Yeah.
And I was working a warehouse job, chunking boxes out the back of a truck. My dad was letting me drive his truck, and I was taking him to the bus stop, and he was riding to work. So like my pride is just killing me.
yeah.
I feel like a burden. I feel
Mm.
like I came home and I'm just a burden, right? And I remember,
And you're 22 at that
yeah,
point.
I'm in my early 20s, right?
Mhm.
Working this job, trying to just hold it together.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working a night shift, and I was counting money from my check, and it was like scraps to me, right?
Yeah.
And my mom was coming in about to go to work, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. She was like, what's up? I said, man, I'm sitting here trying to divide this money between like my work money, my gas money, and give you guys some money, and there's like nothing left over. And she made a comment to me that stuck with me, and I didn't realize how much of an impact it made. But she said, just being how we were whenever we were coming up, she said, Seneca, this is just the way that life is. And when she said it, in my mind, I was like, no,
Mm-mm.
like I know how to go make some money. Like this isn't life. And slowly but surely,
Slipped right back in.
it was just like people started coming back into my life. They say you find what you're looking for.
Yeah. And that was a trigger. That was a trigger for you
that was
to
a
just
trigger.
be like, I can't keep doing this.
Man, and
You
slowly,
went back into that, whatever it takes.
slowly but surely, I just started slipping back, and then connected with some people, got a couple little things going, was making 3 times what I was making hustling in like a week,
Yeah.
So Before I knew it, I just ended up quitting my job, and then now I'm going to do it better this time,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, I've learned some stuff in the feds.
Okay.
I started my own crew, and I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money, and did that whole thing. Branched out on my own this time, and I was indicted as a ringleader.
Mm.
I was given 25 years,
Oof.
theft of over $1 million, and it was a semi-high profile case at the time. So yeah, I just lived that life and did that whole thing.
And so
And
this time it was a federal prison
so this
again?
time it was actually state this time.
Okay. So that's a whole different experience.
So that was a whole different experience. So I go through that, and we do that whole thing. And I remember it's just like a movie. This was like some movie stuff. So I get a call from someone, and they said, hey, like, they know when they're coming. And somebody had called my house phone and said that it was someone that I knew. And I instantly dropped the phone, went into my safe, put all the money in there, hopped in my car, broke all of my phones, called my contacts, like, hey, like, this thing is happening.
Yeah.
So I'm driving to my mom's house, and it starts raining. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know. So I called my mom. I'm like, hey. She's like, what's up? I said, some bad stuff. And in her voice, she said something that, again, I'll never forget. It was just the weight of her voice. She said, what is it now, Seneca?
Oh, disappointment.
and it was so heavy, and I felt it. And I was like, man, I'll just have to explain it when I get there, right? So I go home, sit her down, I explain everything to her, drop off some money there. I go on a run to Austin, Texas. And it was there that, like, God really, really started working, right? And I'm in Austin, and I've been drinking, and I ended up passing out.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told people, like, I go out and party and stuff, you know, at the time, but like, I don't pass out in bathrooms. That's not something I do.
Right.
So I end up passing out, and then I wake up, and I look at the mirror, and I hit the back of my head. It's bleeding. And I'm sitting there looking at my reflection on the run, you know, just from making hundreds of thousands of dollars, doing whatever I wanted to do. And now I'm sitting here ducked off, bleeding, drinking, passed out, looking in the mirror. And I remember saying to my reflection, like, with everything that you've done, like, this is the sum of it.
Yeah. Wow.
This is your reality.
Yeah.
So I left the bathroom, and I sat down, and I went to the trash bag. And I didn't know this at the time, but money had become the thing that brought me peace, right? And
like security?
Like security, identity. It made it worth it made me feel like I was somebody. This was the proof. And I started counting the money. And for the first time in my life, it just felt like pieces of paper.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
No comfort.
No comfort. And so it's like, what do you do when the thing that used to fix you doesn't fix you anymore? So just heavy mirror moments. So I went through that whole process, and my girlfriend at the time I got her wrapped up in my case. She had been arrested. She had a young daughter. So when all that started to happen, that was the first time I really saw, like, how my actions were affecting other people.
Right.
Right. It wasn't just me, because identity theft, like, they're going to get their money back and you're not hurting anybody, is the lie that I told myself.
Right. But these relationships,
But
your mom, to hear the disappointment in your mom's voice. So did they catch up with you in Austin?
No, I ended up turning myself in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the weight of everything, I called a friend of mine, and he got me a lawyer, and I talked to the lawyer. He said, hey, man, turn yourself in. Let's fight the case. Okay. So I'm driving back to Dallas through Waco, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I had started to do shows, like poetry shows, because I wanted to turn my illegal money into something legal. Okay. And I had a venue coming up at the Hall of State at the Fair Park. I had people coming in from out of town. It was on the radio, and I'm driving down 35. I'm flipping through the radio stations, and I hear a commercial for my show that's coming up. And I was like, man, I forgot all about that. You know, I got people coming in. So I pulled over. I sat on the hood of my car, in Waco, Texas, and I looked up and I said, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know I need to do something different with my life.
Yeah.
Turned myself in, bonded out. The next day I called every prison outreach group I could find. One lady called me back, Rochelle Alexander at the Dallas Urban League. And I told her I just want to come speak to like whoever you got. Never spoke a day in my life. And there was like 30 people coming out of prison. I put a chair in front of the room and I just started speaking. And I was good at it. There were some people that was there that liked what I had to say. So I'm out on bond for 2 years before going to prison.
Okay.
Fighting my case, and I started speaking.
Is that normal? 2 years?
Yeah, if you have the money to pay for it. Like my lawyer just kept extending it, extending it. You know, we're trying to like get a deal to like lower my time and just fighting all the evidence. And I started speaking, and yeah, it brought me purpose. It brought me identity. It brought me something that was valuable, that was actually now more valuable than the money.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like, what is this?
And what is it? What do you call that? Like influence, impact?
No, like making an impact, like knowing that your life is adding value.
Purpose.
Right, because that's what we're all doing at jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're bringing value to the market, and that feels good, right? Especially maybe like as an entrepreneur. So when I started to do that, I was like, okay, like this is dope. Like, there can be some type of value with all of this messed up stuff that I've done. And yeah, I did that for about 2 years. I wrote a play. I entered into a play competition. I won first prize. Never written a play in my entire life, but I did like a lot of spoken poetry, so I can story tell. So I win first prize in a play. I get, all these prizes, and the owner of the theater company invites me to this brunch. I'm sitting down. There's a whole table of people from all around the country who are writers and producers, and I'm like, okay, like there's something to this. And it was the best thing that could have happened to me, because after all of that, I ended up getting my time and going to prison.
Yeah.
And I walked into prison with a made-up mind that I was never going to be a criminal.
You already had
again.
your direction changed.
I already had my direction.
Yeah. And so they gave you 25, and you served how many?
9 years.
Oof.
9 on that 25.
That's no small.
No small thing. The first thing I bought on commissary were pencils, pens, and a typewriter.
Yeah.
Before I even bought soups, right?
Yeah.
And that place just became my library, my fitness place. I got into a lot of mindfulness. I got into yoga. I got into fitness. I was the guy doing like workshops and boot camps on the prison yard. And
wow.
There's a lot of cool stories inside of prison that I've done. I've changed some policy about some things that needed to be changed in there. And I was just living, like I just had this thing, and I just like, okay, like this is this energy into a new direction.
Yeah, you were focused.
So I've been home for 7 years now, and I have a nonprofit. I have a mindset company.
To talk about your nonprofit.
So my nonprofit is Kmir, K-M-I-I, pronounce K-M-I-R, which is an acronym, Kmir. And it's an acronym for Keep Me in Remembrance. There's a whole story behind that. But yeah, I go back inside of prisons. I go to youth detention centers, and I primarily teach mindset and networking, because those are the two things that are important. Let's get this mindset on track. You're not bad. We're not going to demonize you. Let's just see where we are. And then,
well, a lot of it, and I find this at the coffee house, is just what you said. Great skills, very talented, driven, misdirected.
Just misdirected.
Completely misdirected. And then often when I hire a barista, we're speaking into them. Ideas about their future, kind of opening up. And, we take our path from a victim mentality. We have to change it to a victory, a mentality of victory. We start with a scarcity mentality. We have to change it to abundance, right? And slowly, the longer they're here, or in your case, as you journey with people, it is mindset. It is changing. It's moving from survival mode to a thrive mode.
Yeah.
And so it is all about mindset, isn't it?
So you hit a big word with the victim. Every I say every, but for general terms, every single person that I know who has come out of prison, and I have a lot of friendships with people that I was in prison with or I knew who have been to prison who are doing great things out here. I'm gonna say 100% of us do not think like a victim.
Okay.
Period. And the individuals who are struggling are still struggling with that victim mindset.
Yeah.
Like that is the soil.
It's not helpful.
Of it, right?
It's not helpful, and that's why I tell the girls, you have been victimized, absolutely, and I would never minimize some of the traumas that they've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
That can't become your identity.
Yeah, it can become so it's healthy to, and it's very therapeutic to have the safe space and to talk about it, and let's nurture it, but it can't be your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And but person has to get to that on their own. Like we can cultivate it, and I would say one layer beneath mindset that's important
Mm-hmm.
is a heart change.
Yeah.
Right. So you need a heart change first,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the heart change comes, because that's more like soul work, and then the mindset, and then after the mindset, we can start work with some practical tools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the tier of it. Unfortunately, you can't teach heart change.
No.
It's an X factor.
Well, you can teach it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Certainly, and you do teach it.
You can.
But
yeah.
Someone has to be ready. They have to want it. They have to. I mean, you can walk them through a process, and it seems like I can tell you're systematic, and you see a path for people.
Yeah.
But they're either ready or they're not. Would you say?
So heart change is some X factor God work, right? What a word that I have used, and this comes from experience of actually like teaching in prison when I first seen it, because I'll be like, man, some guys are getting it and some guys aren't. Like, what's the difference? And it's the heart change thing. But cultivate.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't make a seed grow. There's nothing that a human does to make a seed grow. That is all God, grand architect.
Mm-hmm.
However, we do cultivate. We do create an environment that makes it conducive that when it's ready to grow, it can.
And what's that environment look like?
So for a human being, when we talk about cultivating a heart change, I think one of the biggest things is going to be inspiration.
Okay.
Because I knew that was going to happen. I should have turned it off. I should have turned it off early. Here I am. But you know what? Like I'm very just like laid back and chill.
No, you're fine.
But
I like that because around here, one of the biggest factors we talk about is safety. We create a really safe environment.
Yeah.
So you're saying inspiration.
But when we talk about like safety and genuineness, like you have to get to the soul of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with, they have to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
They have to feel inspired,
Mm-hmm.
because everything starts with a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Dispenza has a quote, which I don't completely agree with, but I understand it in context. It's difficult for people to perform greater than how they feel.
Mm. Okay.
Right? Now, sometimes you have to perform even though you don't feel like it.
I think so. I think sometimes you feel your way into an action. Sometimes you act your way into a feeling. But certainly we are emotional beings.
Man, we are emotional, and it's powerful, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's when we talk about cultivation, that's the starter fuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is getting motivated. And then, once that is done, you have to create just an environment. Again, they have to be safe, because when people are in scarcity, they don't think and feel the same, right? And then after the inspiration, that kind of gets the feeling going and the motivation going, right? And then from there, it's heavy. And this is where you have to really drive in on it. And a person has to take root of this themselves, but it's heavy self-accountability.
Oh, yeah.
When we can lean towards self-accountability is sexy. Self-accountability is where you need to be. Self-accountability is actually what you want. Mm-hmm. You actually want the trial and the resistance when you start to really lean into that, and you do that in micro little elements. So there's different little things that I do that helps people to, because I teach resilience mental training, how to redefine our relationships with triggers and stress. And just like a workout, because I used to be a personal trainer, whenever my clients used to start to lose like 2, 3, 4 pounds, and they came back to work out, it was a completely different person. Right? Completely different person. Now, instead of me telling them to do an extra rep, they're doing an extra 3 themselves.
I like it.
Because they've tasted it.
Yeah.
So how do we create that environment? We give micro opportunities for them to do that, but at some point they have to take root of it themselves.
They do. That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so two things. One thing is, what do you feel that your greatest message is, the heart of your message? What one thing do you want to say to an audience more than any other message?
I start off almost all of my presentations with this nervous system regulation technique, and it's a mantra, and this is what I say. The best thing I can do, when taking care of others, is to first take care of myself, Then I have them clap 1, clap 2, clap 3. And that's a regulation, co-regulate. You're going to regulate you're going to regulate yourself, and then we're going to co-regulate the space around us, because we can't give what we don't have. So the best thing I can do, to answer the question, the best message, singular, that I can give is that, man, the best thing you can do in taking care of others is to take care of yourself.
It's true. And I always tell the girls, remember what they say on the airplane.
Yeah.
In case of, what is it?
In case of an emergency, you put that mask on first.
You put your mask on first.
Yeah.
And so that's a good message. And the second thing is, how can we support you? If there are listeners who say, how can we lean into what Seneca's doing? How would you like us to support you today?
How can you support me? I would say I'm always looking for speaking engagements.
Okay.
So
how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so social media is something, I need to work on that. I need to be more, but my social media is going to be THEKMIR experience, the Khmer experience.
And Rusty's going to make sure that pops up.
Yeah.
So that people can find you.
You can find that on Instagram.
Okay.
And then my LinkedIn is Seneca Alma, ALMA, which is the last name that I go by. It means soul and spirit. Seneca, keep me in remembrance that your spirit is what my name means. Seneca is my original name. Khmer Alma, that's a whole story behind that.
It's your taken name. Okay,
Yeah.
chosen name.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks for being here with us today, and certainly you are an amazing example of turning trauma into triumph. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode. Mr. Seneca, so grateful that he came and had a conversation with us today, and what an amazing journey from just being obsessed with the power of money and what that, at all costs, doing whatever it takes, to a moment where it lost all its power. And thankfully, he saw the power in helping others, in inspiring others, in just every way he can to make an impact and change the trajectory of people's lives to the positive. So I hope you are inspired, and thanks for joining us on this episode of Turning Trauma into Triumph.